Greetings to everyone. I hope you all are hale and hearty. I, Jyoti, welcome you all to RKP online classes, and today we will be studying about our Unit 5 of our Moments book, and the name of our Unit 5 is The Happy Prince, and it is written by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde is Irish playwright, poet, or you can say a writer. He belongs to Ireland. Next we have The Happy Prince. We talk about the chapter, the title of the chapter, The Happy Prince. You get to know about the feeling. You get to know how the prince is happy. And what do you mean by happiness? So happiness is a feeling that you experience when you feel contented. Suppose you get something that you wanted, you will feel satisfied, you will feel contented. That is the feeling of being happy. You will be having a smile on your face. Now again, there are different kinds of smiles, there are different kinds of laugh. Let's have a look at a few of them. First we have smile and grin. Smile, everyone knows, a bit of smile. Whenever you see something good, you smile. Whenever you see your best friend coming, you just give him a smile, you pass smiles. What about grin? Grin means to smile broadly. When your smile can almost touch both your ears, that is called smile. A big broad smile, that is grin. Now if we talk about laugh, everyone knows laugh. Whenever you hear something funny, you start laughing. So that is laugh. Now we have words chuckle and giggle. Both means to laugh quietly, means you are not making sound while laughing as you do while laughing. There is some sound that is created when we laugh. But if we talk about chuckle and giggle, both of them means to laugh quietly, but there is a difference. Giggle means if you somehow fell while walking, God forbid it will not happen, but suppose someone is walking and he slips and he falls, and seeing that everyone is laughing at him, because of embarrassment, he also starts laughing. That is called to giggle, means to laugh when you are shy or embarrassed. That is giggle. Next is chuckle. What does chuckle means? I'll give you an example. Suppose your teacher is teaching in the class and you are absent, not physically but mentally. That means suppose your chapter is going off any subject. Suppose we are talking about this chapter and you are lost in your thoughts. Suppose you have yesterday visited to adventurous park. You must be remembering the events that had happened in that park, and you are lost in your thoughts and you are laughing quietly, remembering those thoughts. That is called chuckle. To laugh quietly but being absent-minded, being thinking of some memories. That will be chuckle. Next is smirk. Smirk means suppose there are two competitors. One is you and one is someone else. Anyone you can assume. And you lose that competition and the other one wins it. But you have to show that you are happy. Means you have to fake. You are not happy, though you have to show that you are laughing. That smile will be smirk. You are smirking. Clear? So let's now begin with the discussion of our chapter. Our chapter is on page number 28 and I'll be reading the introduction of the chapter for you. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. So we will be talking about a statue in this chapter. He was covered with gold. Now we are told how the statue is. He is covered with gold leaves. He had sapphires for eyes. Now he had sapphires. They are used as his eyes. Next we have and a ruby in his sword. He has a ruby and obviously he is carrying a sword. Why did he want to part with all the gold that he had and his precious stones? So in this chapter, we will get to see that the prince, who is built with such a huge amount of gold, and means it is really very valuable, it is really very costly, it is built with precious ornaments. But we are being told in the introduction itself that we will be seeing that in this chapter the prince, the happy prince, he is willing to part with all these. Means he wants that all these things that he is having, gold, sapphire and ruby, he should not be carrying these, and he wants to give them away. Now we have to study what is the reason behind his thought of giving away these things. So before we start with the discussion of chapter, I would like to give you a small idea of how the happy prince is. You all must have heard about Gautam Buddha. His name was Siddhartha. Everyone knows that, and everyone knows that he used to be very happy when he was in his kingdom. Means when he was in his palace, he was cut off from the entire public of his kingdom, and he used to stay in the palace and he was happy. And the reason was that he was kept inside so that he doesn't have to face any kind of disappointment, sadness or any low feeling at all. Similarly, in this chapter we have that this prince, the happy prince that we are talking of, when he was alive, he was always happy. He had never known what sadness is. He had never known what disappointment is, because he was a prince and everything he wanted was presented to him. And he used to stay indoors, means he never used to come outside of his palace. But when he dies, people thought of paying him some honor. And for that purpose, what do the people of that kingdom do? They build a statue of this happy prince, and it is huge in height. The size of the statue is really very high, and it is built on a platform. Now, as the prince used to stay in his palace, he had never seen disappointment in his kingdom as well, in his peoples. But now, as he is standing in the middle of the city and he is standing high, so he can see the entire city from that height. And now he notices that how his city is full of disappointment, poverty, sadness. People are hungry, they are starving, they are suffering from diseases. And when he notices all these things, he feels sorry for them. So now, if we talk about the characters of this chapter, we have Swallow, a seamstress, a queen's maid of honor, a playwright and a matchbook. So let's see how the Swallow will meet them. So the Swallow was on his trip to Egypt. He was flying to Egypt as he was waited for by his friends in Egypt, as they had a plan of meeting there and enjoying. So while flying, it happens that he started late and it becomes dark very soon. So the Swallow decides that it will rest in the city of the happy prince. And the Swallow chooses the statue. The Swallow chooses the statue as its abode for the night, as a temporary home for the night to rest, as it was huge and it was made of gold and precious ornaments. So the Swallow thought that he is very lucky that he is having such a precious house. So he lands on that statue's platform and he rests over there. Now what happens? When he was trying to sleep, when the Swallow was trying to sleep, he notices that a drop of water has fallen on his body. And he tries to look here and there that from where the water is coming, as he cannot see any sign of rain in the sky. So again he tries to sleep, again a drop falls. Then after some time he notices that the statue is drying. So the Swallow flies and it reaches to the face of the statue, and the swallow asked that, what for are you crying? You are called the happy prince, you are built with so many ornaments, but still you are crying. What is the reason? So the happy prince tells him that I am called happy prince because when I was alive, I used to remain happy because I have never experienced anything sad or any disappointment. So I am called happy. But now as my people had made my statue and made me stand in the middle of the city from where I can overlook the entire city, I can have a view of the entire city of each and every person, of their happiness and their sufferings. So I noticed that most of the people in my city are suffering, and that makes me feel sad and I am crying. Then the statue, means the prince, requests the swallow that there is a seamstress and she is really very poor and she is preparing gown of the queen's maid of honor as they have some function, and for that purpose she is preparing a gown for her. But her hands are very rough, she is very weak, she is very tired, and she also has a baby boy who is suffering from fever, and he is asking his mother for oranges to eat as he is starving, but his mother is having nothing else but water to drink. So she provides him river water, but he doesn't want river water, he wants something to eat and he is demanding oranges. So I request you that please go and give the ruby. The ruby that was on the sword, like it is sword, and here the ruby was attached. So the prince asked the swallow that please pick this ruby and give it to the seamstress so that she can buy food for her dying son who is suffering from fever, so that she can consult the doctor having the money after selling the ruby. So after much resistance, the swallow did not agree at the first go. So he convinces, the prince convinces the swallow that please do it for me. As it was very cold over there also, still he makes excuses. But anyhow the prince convinces the swallow. So he goes, he picks up the ruby in his beak and he goes. In his way, he finds the queen's maid of honor. She is laughing, she is with her lover, she is enjoying, she is calling the seamstress lazy, that she is not completing the work, that all these seamstresses are lazy and they are not completing the work. So here we get to see a contrast between the life of the poor and the life of the rich. So, and after noticing this, the swallow flies, he notices that the seamstress being tired, she has fallen asleep. So the swallow drops the ruby on her table, and while returning, he happens to see the boy who was suffering from fever. So the swallow starts fanning the boy so that he can get cold air and he can feel some better. And experiencing that air, feeling that air, the child feels something somewhat better. And the swallow flies back. And when the seamstress wakes up, she finds ruby, she is happy, and all her sufferings are no more. And if we talk about the swallow reaches the statue, and the swallow tells the prince that he is feeling warm. He is feeling warm, though it is cold outside in the city. It is a cold weather, but the swallow is still feeling warm. Then the prince explains that it is the warmth of compassion. Compassion means it is sympathy is different and compassion is different. Sympathy means you can feel the pain of some other person, but compassion means you are understanding and you are doing something to improve their condition. So the prince tells that it is the feeling of compassion, it is the result of the work that you have done, that you have helped the seamstress. Therefore, you are feeling the warmth in your body. Like we often say that if you are doing your work happily, if you are completing it on time, at night you will experience a sound sleep. You can sleep happily. You will have a deep sleep and you will not wake up tired. You will wake up happy. You will be relaxed. Similarly, when you help someone and when you see the smile on their face after helping them, the feeling that you experience, it is really very precious. You can try helping someone and you will notice that how happy the person is whom you have helped, and you yourself will feel happy. That is the feeling of compassion. You are not expecting something in return, you are just helping them so that their condition can improve. So now what happens, next day comes, the princess told the swallow that he has to stay one day only and the next day he can leave for Egypt. So during the day the swallow flies around the city for sight view, and when it happens to be evening, the swallow asks that I am on my way to Egypt, do you have any commission for me, do you have any orders for me? Then he again notices that the princess is sad. Then the swallow asks that what now, why are you sad now, I have hit the seamstress. Now the prince tells him about the playwright. He tells that the playwright is really very poor. He is also starving. He has to complete the play. But it is becoming really very tough for him. So he convinces again. The process of convincing the swallow goes on. He convinces the swallow. The swallow agrees, and this time the prince asks the swallow to pick one of the sapphires. Sapphires were used as his eyes. We have two eyes, so there were two sapphires. This time the prince says that pick one of the sapphires and give it to the playwright. First the swallow hesitates. He says that I can't do this, it is your eye. How will you be able to see? But again the prince succeeds in convincing the swallow. So the swallow picks up the sapphire and drops it at the place of the playwright. Now the next day again the same thing happens. He is trying to go, but again the prince convinces him that please don't go, please do one more help. Then he tells him about the match girl, that all her matches have fallen in gutter and they are of no use. She is not able to sell even a single matchbox, and if she goes empty hand to her home, her father will punish her. She will have to undergo suffering. So I request you, please pick another sapphire from my eye and give it to the girl so that she will not go empty-handed. This time he is really very nervous. The swallow, he is not ready to do this. He says that he will become blind. But again, we know our prince. He is very easy to convince people. He can very easily convince people. So again he convinces the swallow, and the swallow picks another sapphire and gives it to the girl. Now when the swallow returns, he says that you are blind now. You can't see anything. What is going on in the city? So he says that I will not go to Egypt until my last breath. I will stay with you and I will tell you whatever is going on in the city. And the prince tells him that he has not to do this. He can leave easily for Egypt. But the swallow doesn't agree to what the prince was saying, and so he stays back. Now what was the routine? The swallow used to fly around the city. He used to see the sufferings. He used to tell them to the prince. He used to tell that how the rich are very happy. They have nothing to do with the sufferings of the poor people. And in the return, the prince told him to pick the gold leaves. The gold leaves that were placed on his body as clothes. He asked him that pick one gold leaf each and give it to the poor so that they don't have to undergo suffering. And the swallow does so. And at last one day, each and everything from the statue is gone. Now it is just a statue of matter. that is not valuable, that is not precious. And when when everything is gone, when all the gold leaves are gone, the swallow also has starved till that point. Means he had also been hungry for many days. He used to live on the breadcrumbs from the baker's shop, and he starved. And because of starvation, he was about to die. So he says to the prince that, I wish to say you goodbye now. Your city is all happy. No people is sad in your city now. And I wish to say you bye. The prince thinks that the sapphire is going to Egypt now. So he says that you can go and bye, take care of yourself. Then the swallow says that I want to kiss you on your cheeks. So he says that you are my best friend. Don't kiss me on my cheeks, kiss me on my lips. Now when he says that, dear friend, I am going to the house of death. At that time the prince really feels sad and his heart of metal breaks. Now what happens? As the swallow dies and falls at the foot of the prince, the heart of the metal breaks. Though it was made of lead, but it broke into two pieces. And after a few days, the mayor of the city came for a walk. And when he noticed that such an ugly statue, why ugly? Because it was made of lead, iron and all the metals. So he orders that the statue be taken down. It is of no use, it is destroying the beauty of our city. And when now the god orders his angels that go and bring me the two most valuable things of the world. The angels, one of the angels takes the swallow which was lying in the dustbin, and the heart of the prince that has broken into two parts, that is made of lead, that too was also lying in the dustbin. So both the angels pick up both the things and they goes to God, and the God says that it is the perfect answer to his question. Means they were the most valuable things in the world. So in this chapter we talk about the things that we get to learn about. Compassion, I hope everyone is clear with this. We get to see the contrast in this chapter as well between the queen's maid of honor and the seamstress and all the poor people. And we also get to see that how there is value for money only, as the mayor of the city asked to bring down the statue from the platform as it was no more pleasing to the eye, as what only mattered for them was the external beauty and not the internal beauty. And they threw that thing in the dustbin without even a single thought. So that was all about our chapter. I hope it is clear to you all. Now you all have to take a reading of this chapter, and I hope you will not face any difficulty, any doubt. All your queries will be solved once you will take a reading of your chapter. So that was all for today. See you again in the next class. Till then, take care everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.